I'm standing in front of the Scottish Parliament, the heart of the Scottish nation. But what happens inside your business and your organisation is just as vital as the debate that takes place behind me.
It now gives me enormous pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, a man whose own background is one of constant reinvention and whose message is just the kind of positive vibe that's so refreshing in this age of spin.
There's something really exciting happening, and it is this time that I urge you to be bold, even more ambitious, and make sure that every interaction you have is one that lifts and inspires people. And I arrived on a site in Earl's Court in London. It was quite a big site. And there was a big Welsh foreman with a broken nose and a soft hat. And he took me aside when I arrived and he says, "Michael, I want to show you something." And he took me to this hut. I was a bit suspicious at first, I have to say. But then he showed me a drawing and he said, "This is the vision, this is what we're building." And he says, "Every day I want you to come in here, remind yourself of the vision. This is the palace we're building." And do you know something? I felt this surge of energy because for the first time, I felt a sense of ownership and a responsibility for the big picture. But our natural instinct on that side is to experiment, is never to see a challenge as insurmountable. Do you know how many times a child falls on average when it's learning to walk? 234 times. How many times did you fall before you said, well, the bolder amongst you will say, "I'm not going to be very good at this." But most people will say, "I can't do that," and stop it. So our job is to take the challenges that have been set for the next few years and really run with it, really motor with it, to change the way we do things all the time. And I say innovation should be at the heart of an organization. I really do believe in ambition. And I believe in helping people that I work with to become even more ambitious.
At pictures of Tirana now, you will see that the buildings have been coloured. They've planted 53,000 trees and they've cleaned up the civic spaces. Do you know what the impact is? Crime came down quite dramatically. Civic pride went up and self-esteem went up. And this shopkeeper who used to draw down the shutters every night in his shop, he stopped doing it now. He says there's no point because there's no crime. That's extraordinary, using colour rather than penalty.
The most successful companies, the most successful individuals, the most successful communities, the most successful countries have ambition. But it's not just about having this ambition, it's about then putting all their efforts into constantly creating, constantly finding new ideas, constantly changing the way we do things, constantly taking people who work with you along with you, being the inspiration. That their target was to win 40% of their matches. And I was saying, actually, isn't that a target to lose 60% of your matches? It is. And they did, quite regularly. In fact, they exceeded their target quite regularly.
Thank you very much indeed.